Let's discuss what does it mean the social group. In the social sciences, a social group is defined as two or the more people who interact with one another, share similar characteristics, and collectively have a sense of unity. A social group is described as multiple individuals, usually two or the more, who connect, possess similar qualities, and have a feeling of uh, ownness. Collectively, clubs, business, families, and the circle of friends, local religious, or the other one is something like an audience. You can consider it as the example of the social groups. Let's discuss some of the function of the social group. The first one we define as assignment of roles. Roles refer to a set of expected behavior patterns attribute to someone who occupy a given position in a social unit. Groups expect their members to perform a certain roles or the behavior. For example, in the former group, these roles are defined by their jobs, titles, and the position, and in formal groups, they are defined by their expectation and the perception of the other managers. Assignment's role is something, for example, if somebody is a teacher, so you will expect that he will behave very calm, and the doctor, he will make some kind of a treatment. This is something formally you are just have an expectation because of their job title. And if you talk about from the informal status, like somebody told you that he is she's a mother or he's a father, so you would expect that they will behave with a child with a huge kind of a kindness. The other one is the group norms and the conformity. Group norms are acceptable standards or the expectation that are shared by group members. They may relate to output levels, absenteeism, promotions, dress, loyalty, socializing on the job, etc. A group norm that states that members shall not produce more than 50 units per day becomes a norm followed by all. Even if a member can and wants to produce more than 50 units per day in the order to earn more, he would not do so for the fear of losing group approval. Norms also define the dress to be worn by group members, their working hours on weekends, etc. Norms have a powerful influence on individual performance. Member perform as the group norms provide. The last functions we basically categorize is group cohesiveness. Group cohesiveness is the degree to which members are attracted to group and commonly share the group goals. It represents the attraction of the group members toward each other in terms of loyalty and the commitment to the group goals. It is the degree to which members are attached to a group, are motivated to remain in the group, and are mutually influenced by one another. Let's talk about some different types of the group. We basically divide the groups into three types. The first one is the primary group. Primary group, you can say this is the initial group, like your family, is a typically a small social group whose members share close personal relationships in which one exchange implicit items such as love, care, concern, sport, etc. These groups are often long lasting and marked by members' concern for one another. This is something that you can relate yourself, or the sense of belongingness, where goal is actually the relationship themselves rather than achieving another purpose. In general, there are also psychologically comfort to the individual involved, providing the source of support. As such, primary group is a play an important role in development of the personal identity. Additionally, the three subgroup of the primary can also be identified like kins, relatives, close friend, and the neighbors. If you talk about the secondary groups, secondary group is relatively larger group composed of impersonal, the goal oriented relationships. Personal was something that you when you will born and you interact for the first time, so this considered at primary group like a family. And other than family, normally we consider it as the secondary group. For example, your school, your religion, all these groups considered as the secondary groups. So these groups are often based on achieving a common purpose outside of the relationship itself and evolve involve much less emotional investment. Like as you have a emotional attachment in the primary group, but you don't have an emotional attachment to the secondary groups. Since secondary groups are established to perform functions, individual roles are more interchangeable. Thus, members are able to leave and out groups are able to join the with a relative ease. Such groups can be understood to be ones in which individual exchange explicit commodities, for example, labor for a wage, service for the payment, etc. Example include study groups, sports teams, schoolmates, co-worker, etc. It is also wasted social group as it permits sex. The third one is the collective groups. A collective is a large group of individuals whose relationships to one another are loosely formed, spontaneous, spontaneous and brief. Collective is something like randomly when you interact with a person and more than two people are together, they are forming a group. Members are generally connected through performing similar actions or possessing similar outlooks. As they only exist for a very brief period of time, it is very easy for an out group members to become an in group members and vice versa. For example, you have decided to watch the cricket match, and you when you will reach to the stadium, so you have a plenty of audience who are here just to watch the match. So that's become the collective groups. The other we categorize